welcome. I'm Tim and this is TimBatSea. And we are right up the Hudson River alongside Manhattan. Manhattan Cruise Terminal up here. Skyline over here. And it's occurred to me that newer viewers of the channel often write in the comments, what are you doing? So I keep forgetting that not everyone's watched all these years. Like,
I think they got the door open on this side.
Say again?
Yeah, if you speaking to them, can you ask them if they got the door open on the side? I don't think we could tie up without the door being open.
Yeah, they say they're ready for us, so I imagine they are. And what we'll do is we'll get over there and hold it in place with the system.
Okay, copy that.
Okay, so we are a tugboat, and we are pushing a bunker barge. And we have an assist tug right over here who's going to help us in to that cruise ship over there. But what we got going on is we've got the hop of the flood tide, so the tide's going this way, and we've got to go up there and back in. And you know, I made a video a while ago when we were in Philadelphia, and there was a tricky spot we had to go in. The tide was going, and it was a slip like this that's parallel to the dock, to the river. And people asked me why I didn't back in over there. And backing in is usually pretty difficult to do. And in fact, years ago when we were doing this job, we used to run right in here and everything would be fine. And well, everything would be hairy, I should say. And then all of a sudden we saw some guy who had been around the block a whole bunch of times backing in there, and we're like, what is he doing? He's backing in? And then it dawned on me. I was like, oh my God, that makes perfect sense. So the idea is that because the tug draws more than the barge does in this configuration, what we do is we want to get up there with the tide and then back the tug in, so that the tug that's more affected by the tide than the barge is will be able to get out of the tide once it gets in the slip. This can, you know, you can go in there at slack water, which is ideal, but schedules don't always allow for that. So what we found is that if you go in there with a flood tide, it pulls you off the ship. Sometimes you have to go in there with an ebb tide, and then you have to have the assist tug on the opposite side, meaning on the ship side of where we're going. And so you can't use them the whole way. So this is you know, it's a relatively difficult maneuver, but one we used to do all the time. It's only difficult for me because I haven't done it in a while. And oops, sorry, radios are going nuts here. So I anticipate that we're gonna have it'll be just fine going in here, but always got to be top of the game when we do this. So here we go. Welcome aboard. So as we get up here,
You got a copy of me up here?
yes sir, I have you Lima Charlie.
Copy that.
Alright, so if you see over here, that is a structure built on the aft deck of the aircraft carrier Intrepid. Viewers of the channel remember that I'm a huge aviation fan. I've been to many aviation museums. And for about 20 years I've been wanting to go to see this museum, but I've always gone next to it when we're doing these jobs. Never got over there. Well, Chris Alita and I went over there day before our hitch started, before my hitch started over here, and it was wonderful. There are other museums in less congested areas that kind of have a more intimate setting than this. This has amazing. It's a great museum. I'm not trying to say anything bad about it. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying it's a busy place with a lot of people. It gets a lot of visitors, but it was definitely worth it, and it was awesome. And the thing that really shocked me was I knew that this whole structure that you see on the back over here, that covers up the space shuttle, and I kind of knew that, but I didn't really know that they had such a display about space and that. And
38 calling to Fort McHenry.
That actually turned out to be one of my favorite parts of the museum. I was really surprised. They did a really good job. Had some really cool artifacts and really cool displays showing.
Okay, come up to the wheelhouse for me.
So once again, the plan is that we're going to go up here by the ship, by the stern, catch our assist tug, and try to turn up like that, get perpendicular to the tide, and back in. Because that's the plan. Hopefully it will go well, because they haven't done it in a while, so hopefully it will work. But the good news is, like I say, the thing that got going for me is that the tide is going, and so if anything happens, we'll fall down on the dock. We won't fall down on the ship. And hopefully we won't fall down at all. That would be ideal. We have, to give you a little idea, we're doing about 4.5 knots here. I'm creeping up here. We had about 2.4 knots of flood tide here, so the tide is rolling up that way. They originally had us going in a couple hours later, and that would have been closer to slack water, but the ship called and said they were ready for us, so here we go. View of the Intrepid, built for World War II, served in World War II and the Vietnam War. Very cool. On the Steve and Dan, if you want to come around my stern there and come up on my starboard side, we can get ready for this.
All ready, sir. I thought you were going to cut it a little closer than you are.
No, I'd leave you room. All right, so now I've got all stop. Trying to bleed off some speed here. It's probably not going to really happen, so I'm going to just put our 2 clicks astern. 2 engines in clutch astern. People often ask, what does it mean to be in clutch? And that's just kind of where the where the controls are. In other words, they're up against the clutches. So minimal power. Whenever you say clutch 1, that means minimal power with 1 engine, and clutch 2 would be minimal power with 2 engines. Alright, we got it down to 2.4, so we're going about the speed of the tide right here. Our assist tug is coming up. I'm going to secure my radar. I don't need that anymore. We don't need to radiate the people in the cruise ship.
Putting the line up now, we're holding off.
Very good, we can put the line up.
Go ahead and get it up.
Ooh, he threw that with some authority. Down to 1.8 now. My backing. Try to
You good.
turn against this guy because he was pushing me a little bit.
All right, line up all fast.
All right, very good. You want to start it at 0640 or you want to do something different?
That is fine, man.
All right.
Alright, about another 20 feet, we'll be even with the stern of the ship.
Very good. So, writing my rough log here. 0640. First line. Not first line, but assist tug. So in a perfect world, I'd be much closer to the ship. I say that because the farther away I am, the farther I'm going to back while I'm perpendicular to the tide. But we wanted to give him plenty of room so that he could get over there, and I think he'll be fine. Anyway, because I haven't done this in a while, I want to make sure that I get it all set up out here in the river, so I don't have to set it up right in the slip. So you can see over here where, you see, I'm pointing it, right over here is where we're going, and we're going to be backing in there. So I got to make sure I don't end up on that dock, because that's where it's pushing. And what makes it kind of interesting is that there'll be a lot of tide pushing on the tug and pushing on the whole unit, but a lot of it on the tug, until we get into the slip. So as I'm backing in, I'll be worried about that. In fact, I'm going to start turning right now. I'll stop and put the rudder hard over to port, and I'm going to do a left twist. So my starboard engine is ahead, my port engine's astern, and I'm going to start twisting right now, hoping to get the stern, our stern over here by the stern of the cruise ship. Yeah, so as I start coming in, I will start losing the tide, but the assist tug and the barge will still have the effect. So it's kind of one of those things you gotta watch. So I'm trying to twist right now. When I said that I wasn't as close to the stern of the ship as I'd like to be, I can make up for that by turning a little early, so I get my stern over there a little sooner. I don't know if that makes sense for you guys. I'll show you what I'm looking at here. We're coming around like this. Now it's hard. I know that all these people say, oh, you should have this camera, and you should have this camera, and you should do this, and you should do that. You know what? My job is to run the tug. So anything you guys are watching here is kind of a bonus. You're lucky. So what I want to do is really make sure I do the job right, and if I can shoot some video while I do it at the time, then we all win. That's a good thing. And look, if you get anything out of these videos, or you like these sort of things, you can support the channel by subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything. In analytics, I think I got about 63% or something like that of viewers are unsubscribed, and like I say, subscribing doesn't cost anything, and it really helps out quite a bit. Now the assist tug, you can see some quick water coming up behind him, but I think he's just trying to stay in shape. That means, just looking here at the stern of the ship, the stern of the tug, and what that really means is that he is trying to maintain somewhat of a 90 up there. And you know what? I'm going to have him go ahead and give me clutch on one on the Stephen Dan.
Clutch your head on one.
All right, so I am just about in line with the back of the ship, and I'm falling upriver all the time, so I need to start watching what's going to happen here. So I apologize again, because I'd like to be able to tell you what, I'd like to be able to show you what I'm seeing back here, but my hands are kind of full. But anyway, like I was saying before, there are a lot of people that will say, oh, you should do this and you should do that, and it's not a luxury I always have. Alright, if you want to support the channel, you can give us a thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff helps out quite a bit. And you can also you can buy us a coffee, or buy me and Luke a beer at the airport if you want, by hitting that super thanks. Alright, now you know what? I'm falling down pretty good, so I'm going to set my rudder hard to the right and do a right twist. And that should hold my stern up. So he's still...
Alright, Cap, I'm back here on your stern. Come back another good 20-25 feet, we'll be stern to stern.
Very good. Alright, so now I'm watching, we're not parallel yet, and I'm watching with the bow of the I'm watching the mast on the bow of the barge with the shoreline to see how much movement I'm having getting over there, and everything seems to be working. Famous last words. That's what they said on the Titanic. Everything seems to be working out just fine. So we're just backing in nice and easy now. You can see we're still flattening out all the time, and that's because he's working on there. I'm about as far off from the ship as I really need to be. I don't need to be any more. I'm kind of liking how this is. I was worried that
we're looking good. We're about stern to stern, probably holding about a good 40, 45 wide.
Very good. All right, I'm going to start backing a little harder because my way has stopped. And you know what? My stern is close enough, so I'm not going to be twisting anymore against him. So once he gets flat, I'm going to have him go in and out of gear. All right, go all stop and follow along. If you need to twist to stay in shape, do whatever you got to do. We're just going to back up a little bit there on the Stephen Dan.
All right, sir. All knocked out.
Okay, so we're backing up. Let me show you where we are. Okay, now I need to straighten that up so I can have him back, or I can twist
looking
against
good,
him.
Probably holding about a good 30, 35 wide.
I'm going to twist against him. Very good. By twisting against him, that might check up the bow a little bit and bring me over a little bit, which is all stuff we want to do. Okay, I'm checking the bow, and the bow is still moving to the left. Okay, now it's starting to check up. So now I can see that. Now, and I'm figuring all that by the...
Alright, the stern of the ship just now past the midship of the barge. Still holding about 30 wide.
Very good. Hey, how you looking on the Stephen Dunn? Do you want to get closer to the ship? Are you all right with the dock, or how you looking?
I think we're all right. Keep on doing what you're doing.
All right. If you need to put one in clutch, you go ahead and I'll adjust from here.
All right, sir. Yeah, I'm twin screwing that. Just try to stay up on a 90, but I'm not pushing on you.
Yeah, but like I say, feel free. Actually, you know what? You're starting to come down, so go ahead and give me clutch on one.
Clutch on one?
I'm looking at the bow, and the bow is falling to the right, so he's going to clutch on one to push ahead. Backing up. You can see the dock over here. I'm worried about his stern coming by there. He says
still holding about 30 wide up and down.
Very good. Now he probably likes doing clutch on one because not only does it give him more room over there, but it also helps him. He doesn't have to twin screw to stay up. He's got his rudder probably hard over to starboard, so that as I back up, it'll continue to he'll be able to move his wheel back and forth to keep him at a 90. Okay, now I'm starting to see. I was twisting against him, and when I stopped, all of a sudden the bow started coming over. So
alright, Cal, looking good. You still about as good. Opening up on your stern about a good 30, 35 on your stern, closing in on your bow about a good.
I'll stop on the Stephen Dan.
I'll stop.
So now I gotta watch out because I shouldn't have any more tide. So if we start headed for the ship, we're gonna need him to back on that to hold it out. I'm twisting, doing a right twist to try to. You can see I'm kind of too far in with the bow and far out with the stern. So by twisting,
come back about another 15 feet. Well, another 10 feet. The stern of the ship will be even with the bow of our barge.
Very good. We're coming back at a
holding about a good
knot and a half.
15.
Bow's coming.
15 on the bow.
Check the bow up. Unfortunately, I'm still not flat though, so that means that the stern is going to start getting further and further away from the ship. So I need to get flat. Most of our difficulties should have gone. Okay, now the bow is starting to come over, so I'm going to let it get flat. I'm going to straighten my rudder out because I shouldn't have to fight the tide anymore now that we're in the slip.
Alright, you opening it up on your bow about a good 20 wide, holding it about a good 30 on the stern.
Alright. Alright, so I'm still using the top of the mast of the barge there, looking at the New Jersey shoreline there to see if I'm moving left to right, ranging it that way. moving back at 0.7, which is kind of slow, but we got time and everything's working out great. It's a beautiful day. No need to rush anything. All right, so you can see what I'm seeing here. This is what we're looking for. Somewhere around these doors. One door is probably for a pilot. Another one might be for where the fuel connection is. And these little, you can see these little what we call Panama chocks. They're chocks that are recessed into the hull. We'll be going over there.
Still holding about a good 15 on your bow.
All right. Straight here. All right. All right. So I'm gonna start twisting against him again because for some reason the stern keeps coming out. Go ahead and give me clutch on 1 on the Stephen Dan.
Just a hit on.
As I bring the stern over, the bow starts headed that way, and you can see he's running out of room back there. So I want to get a little closer to the ship. One thing I was going to tell you, any buddy that might be doing this in the future, the guy on deck who's calling distances, he can talk all he wants. If I need to go, if I need to have him...
Still holding about 30 on your stern. Holding about 15 on the bow still.
Very good. All right, I'll stop on the Stephen Dan.
I'll stop.
Yeah, so if I need him to shut up because I need to tell my assistant to stop.
Holding about 10 now.
Very good. He's got a handheld, and in low power, I think that's at 1 watt, where I believe our radios here are about 3 or 5 watts. So we'll just blow right over the top of him, so I can talk right over him, and then my assistant's going to hear me before they hear him. Hey, ask the tankerman if he has any idea which door. Looks like we got 3 possibilities over here.
He said it's not too sure. You think it's the last one back here?
Okay. So now I'm all stopping. I'm just coasting at half a knot backwards. Checking
looking alright, looking good. Probably still holding about 10 on your stern, 10 on the bow.
Very good. Some guy, looks like we woke this guy up right here.
This small door right here is the one. It says no tugs.
All right, and so that means we're probably right about where he wants to be. Is that correct?
Yeah, he said it's pretty good.
All right. It's going to be dead slow ahead on 1 on the Stephen Dan.
Touched on 1.
All right, so I need to stop our sternway and twist against him because he's gonna drive that bow over. So I'm doing a right-hand twist. That means the port engine's ahead, the starboard engine's astern, and the rudder's hard over to starboard. And we have rubber around the corner of the barge, and we have our fenders that we call Yokohamas. But this is a white ship, and those things are black. All right, I'll stop now. Just let it drift.
I'll stop.
Yeah, white ship, black fenders.
Close up. Probably about 5 on the stern, another 5 on the bow.
Very good. So now the trick for me is to try to land this thing flat. In other words, not on one side or the not forward or aft, but land all together, parallel up and down. And if we do that, we shouldn't leave a mark on the ship, which is
slowly creeping over, probably about a good 3 wide on your bow, another 3 on the stern.
All right. So one thing about those Panama chocks is that they're not the easiest thing to throw a line.
Alright, about to touch up, probably about a foot on the bow and the stern.
All right, very good. Looks like the tankerman got the line right there. Oh, look at that fuel door.
All right, we caught you your first line. You go ahead, come ahead. Come ahead about another 10 feet.
Coming ahead 10 feet. Okay, so I want to make sure that we are off of the ship a little bit so we don't put a black streak down there. Kind of wanted to be where we were going to be. Thought I did it right where he told me to, but I guess he wanted to go ahead a little bit more. So I'm just creeping ahead. I think we're about inches off, so I don't think we're making a mark, which is good. We can always have the assist tug push us back. Seeing people come out to their cabins here. Bunch of.
All right, then we good right there. About to lock you down. Coming in tight into the line.
Very good. Okay, so I'm going to back as he tightens that up. That's going to drive the bow over. So I got it stopped. Now I'm going to twist against that line. All right, you can give me clutch ahead on 1 on the Steve and Dan.
Touch the head on 1.
Now, driving into that line and having a right wheel. So in other words, it would be kind of like me taking a right-hand turn, but I can't take a right-hand turn because of that line and because the assist tug is pushing up there. So what that's going to do is hold my stern in while they're tying everything up. Yeah, so I was starting to say, I'm looking at all these dudes watching me. We've got 3 different dudes here watching me. There's there's a woman. We always have stories about seeing something special on the balcony of a cruise ship. Of course, your old pal Tim has never been that lucky. I haven't seen anything other than damn dudes all the time. Incidentally, for those that are longtime viewers of the channel, you've probably heard me say this before, but there was never really a plan to have a tugboat channel. After I got divorced and I was single, I said, hey, you know what? I'll make a YouTube channel so I can meet chicks. And
hey, Chad, we want you to come back about 10 feet so we can get this bit to tie up to.
All right, you're gonna have to slack that other line because it's pretty tight. So now I got over 60,000 dudes that watch my channel. If you're one of the women that watch my channel, thank you so much. It's really appreciated. It helps the demographic out. All right, so we're gonna back up a little bit. This is just busy work right here.
Just slack this backing line off and the spring line off. That's all right.
Yep, do that backing line first because that's the one that's holding me back. You can go all stop on the Steve and Dan.
All stop, sir.
So it does kind of seem like I was right. We were right. We were in the right spot before. And then I bet, you know what? Maybe this is the right spot. You know what? My mistake. This is the right spot. He just wanted to get back. Let me show you where he's at over here. See him down there? He's trying to get that. Oh, that guy is.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and lock her down.
Hang on. He probably wants to go back to the original spot, right?
I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, he want to come back ahead.
Yeah, so wait till I get up there. Stephen Dan, clutch on 1.
Touch on 1.
All right. Now I get ready to twist to hold him off. All right, and if you guys, like I say, if you got anything out of this and you want to support the channel, we'd love to have you on our Patreon crew. Patrons get access to ad-free content, early uploads, and what's really special is that they also get special Patreon-only videos, kind of behind-the-scenes stuff that I can't really put out to the public. So patrons, I think it starts at $2 a month, so should be in anybody's. If you can afford a cup of coffee while you watch a video, you might be able to afford that. If that's something you want to do, if you don't, that's totally fine. And hey, we're doing all kinds of work. I've put tons of money. You wouldn't believe the amount of money I put into my sailboat, SV Paquita, and that's been on the hard. I've been doing a refit, and when I get off the tug, hopefully we'll get the last bits done and get her in the water and get sailing again. But I've been putting stuff over there. Put a link in the description if you want to help me out, and it's a big help if you help me and subscribe on that channel. I'm trying to get that channel off. It's just a microscopic channel compared to this one, but there's a million sailing channels out there. This one's a little different in that it's not the young and the beautiful. It's just your old buddy Tim and Chrysalida. All right, you guys take care, be safe, and as always, I'll see you on the one.